The moment Ji-yoon stormed into the kitchen, the room froze. Her heels struck the marble floor like gunshots, and her glare sliced through the air, making even the walls seem to shrink. "Who left the silver tray on the floor?" she shouted, and the staff flinched as if they'd been struck. The chef stammered, I didn't." "You didn't what?" Ji-yoon's voice was sharper than a knife. "Do you think mistakes like this go unpunished in my house?" Then the door creaked quietly. A young girl stepped in, barely 20, clutching a small notepad. Her eyes scanned the room calmly. "Good morning," she said softly. Every staff member's jaw dropped. No one had dared speak in Ji-yoon's presence without trembling. Ji-yoon's eyes snapped to her, narrowing. "And you are?" "I'm the new house help," the girl replied evenly. "I just arrived. My name is Zara." Ji-yoon smirked, a dangerous curve that didn't reach her eyes. "Courage is a foolish thing here. Don't make me regret hiring you." Zara nodded and went about her work. But there was something about her, quiet, steady, unafraid, that made the staff exchange hopeful glances. Later, in the grand hall, Ji-yoon assembled the staff. "Someone misplaced the silverware yesterday. Speak now or face the consequences." A timid man mumbled, I think it might have been me, Miss Ji-yoon." Ji-yoon's lips curled into a cruel smile. "You think?" she said slowly. "Mistakes here are costly." Before the man could react, Zara stepped forward. "It wasn't him, ma'am," she said calmly. "I saw what happened. The tray fell while cleaning, but it wasn't anyone's fault." The room went silent. Even Ji-yoon blinked, a flicker of surprise crossing her face. "You dare speak to me like that?" she hissed. "I do," Zara said steadily. "No one should live in fear for doing their job honestly." Ji-yoon's eyes narrowed to slits. "You will regret this." "Perhaps," Zara replied softly. "But I'll regret it less than watching everyone cower." The tension in the mansion shifted that day. Whispers spread among the staff, sparks of hope igniting in their hearts. For the first time in years, someone stood up to Ji-yoon without flinching. Over the next few days, Zara quietly observed everything. She noticed the cracks in Ji-yoon's perfectly controlled world, the arrogance that led to mistakes, the insecurity hidden beneath a sharp smile, the fear she instilled in everyone around her. One morning, Ji-yoon's fury erupted over a minor wardrobe mishap. She threw garments across the room, yelling at her assistant with venom. Zara approached carefully. "Ma'am, I can help fix this quickly," she said softly. "No need for frustration." Ji-yoon froze. "You think you can tell me how to behave?" she snapped. "I'm not telling you," Zara replied. "I'm offering a solution." Ji-yoon's jaw tightened, studying her carefully. Most would have cowered, yet she stood firm. Finally, with a sharp exhale, Ji-yoon allowed her to help. The outfit was corrected in record time, and though Ji-yoon didn't admit it aloud, the corner of her lips betrayed a grudging respect. That evening, the staff huddled around Zara quietly. "You're brave," whispered one. "No one dares face her like that." "I just want to make a difference," Zara said simply. "No one should live in fear." The following week, tension escalated between Ji-yoon and Zara. Every encounter was a silent duel, Ji-yoon asserting dominance, Zara deflecting with calm cleverness. During a lavish party at the mansion, Ji-yoon humiliated a young staff member publicly. The room froze in fear. Zara stepped forward, placing herself between Ji-yoon and the trembling staff member. "Enough," she said, voice steady but commanding. "No one should be treated this way. Not tonight, not ever." Gasps rippled through the room. Ji-yoon's eyes flared with fury. "Do you know what you're doing?" "Yes," Zara said, And I don't care about fear. Only fairness matters. Ji-eun's hand trembled ever so slightly, betraying the anger she usually masked. No one had dared challenge her so openly. The audacity left her momentarily stunned. The party continued, but the atmosphere had changed. Staff no longer shrank at Ji-eun's presence. Zara's courage had sparked something bigger, hope. By now, Ji-eun was increasingly wary. Every time Zara approached with solutions or quiet interventions, she felt her control slipping. For the first time, she realized that fear wasn't the only way to command respect. One afternoon, Zara noticed Ji-eun berating the household assistant over a minor error. Without hesitation, she stepped forward. "Ma'am," she said softly, "perhaps we can resolve this differently. No need for anger." Ji-eun's eyes widened in disbelief. "You are testing me," she said, her voice tight. "No," Zara replied calmly. "I am giving you a choice." For a long, tense moment, the mansion seemed to hold its breath. Then Ji-eun turned abruptly, muttering under her breath as she stormed away. The staff exchanged amazed looks, realizing that Zara's presence had shifted the balance in the house. By the end of the week, small changes were evident. The kitchen staff worked without fear of shouting, the assistants moved confidently, and even Ji-eun's smile had softened at moments, though she would never admit it. Zara didn't boast. She moved quietly, helping, observing, and standing firm whenever injustice occurred. And slowly, she was changing the mansion, one act of courage at a time. If you're rooting for the new house help, comment "Brave Maid" below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to see what happens next. The next morning, the mansion buzzed with anticipation. Word of Zara's courage had spread, but no one knew how Ji-eun would react. The air felt charged, as though a storm was brewing. Ji-eun entered the hall, her heels clicking like thunder. "I hear someone has been meddling in my affairs," she said, eyes scanning every corner. "And apparently it's you," she added, her gaze landing on Zara. "I only help where I see a problem," Zara replied calmly, standing tall. "I don't interfere with anyone's life unnecessarily." Ji-eun's lips curled into a cold smile. "Do you think I won't notice? Do you think your little acts of kindness will go unpunished?" "I don't act out of fear," Zara said softly. "I act out of fairness." For a moment, the room seemed to hold its breath. The staff dared not look, but secretly, hope flared within them. If Zara could stand up to Ji-eun, maybe the tide was turning. That afternoon, a high-profile business dinner was planned in the mansion. Ji-eun, dressed in a designer hanbok-inspired gown that screamed authority, walked past the staff like a storm. She barked orders at assistants, ignored the house help, and ensured that everyone felt her dominance. During the dinner preparation, disaster struck. A tray of fine china slipped from a waiter's hands, shattering on the marble floor. Gasps echoed through the hall. The staff froze. Everyone knew Ji-eun's wrath would be immediate. Ji-eun spun around, eyes blazing. Who was responsible for this disaster? Before anyone could answer, Zara stepped forward. "It was an accident, ma'am. I'll help clean it up," she said, moving quickly to manage the situation. Ji-eun's eyes narrowed. "Do you think I need your help?" she snapped. "I only want to prevent further chaos," Zara replied, her voice steady. The tension was palpable. Ji-eun's fist clenched, and for a terrifying second, it seemed she might lash out. Then slowly, she exhaled and turned away. The staff exchanged incredulous looks. No one had ever calmed her down so effortlessly. That night, Zara went back to the staff quarters. Whispers followed her. "Did you see that? She didn't even get scolded," one housekeeper said. "She's brave," another added, "and smart. She knows how to handle Miss Ji-eun without provoking her too much. I just want things to be better, Zara said softly. No one should fear coming to work every day. The following week, Ji-eun's behavior grew unpredictable. She praised some staff but would humiliate others without reason. Zara observed carefully, understanding that Ji-eun's power was not absolute. It was fragile, based on fear, and that fear could be challenged. One afternoon, Ji-eun stormed into the library, shouting at the assistant for misplacing a file. "Do you think this is acceptable?" she screamed. The assistant cowered, ready to apologize. But Zara stepped in. "Ma'am, perhaps I can help locate the file quickly. There's no need for shouting." Ji-eun froze. "Do you dare tell me how to manage my household?" "I'm not telling you how to manage," Zara replied evenly. "I'm offering a solution to a problem, so no one gets hurt." Ji-eun's glare was sharp, but she allowed Zara to search the room. Within minutes, the file was found, and the crisis averted. The assistants stared in awe. For the first time, someone had neutralized Ji-eun's wrath without disrespecting her entirely. Later that evening, Ji-eun confronted Zara privately. "You are bold," she said, her tone cautious. "Bold and annoyingly persistent. Do you realize the kind of trouble you could bring to yourself?" "I do," Zara said calmly. "But I care more about people than fear." Ji-eun's expression flickered, revealing a hint of frustration she rarely allowed anyone to see. "You could make life difficult for yourself," she warned. "I'd rather make life fair," Zara replied simply. The tension between them was electric, a silent duel of willpower and courage. Ji-eun was powerful, yes, but Zara's calm defiance had begun to chip away at her dominance. Days later, a rumor spread through the mansion that the fiancée had lost a major business deal because of a minor error in her planning. Ji-eun was furious, lashing out at everyone around her. The staff trembled, but Zara did not flinch. She stepped forward, calmly helping staff coordinate damage control and even advising Ji-eun on a discreet solution. Ji-eun noticed her influence growing. "You think you can fix my mistakes?" she asked sharply. "I only want to help, ma'am," Zara said gently. "No one deserves to suffer because of fear or mistakes that can be corrected." The fiancé's face hardened, but she let Zara continue. It was becoming increasingly clear that Zara was not an ordinary house help. She had courage, intelligence, and an unshakable sense of justice. And she was starting to change the entire household dynamic. By now, the staff began to feel a subtle shift. No one trembled as much when Ji-eun entered a room. Smiles were appearing quietly, whispers of gratitude spread, and even small moments of laughter returned to the mansion. One evening, as Ji-eun berated a young assistant for a minor mistake, Zara stepped between them once again. "Ma'am," she said firmly, "no one should be treated like this. Please, let's handle it calmly." Ji-eun's eyes flared with fury, but there was hesitation too, a crack in her armor. For the first time, someone's words held weight beyond fear. Zara's calm confidence was like a shield, protecting the vulnerable and challenging the tyrant without striking directly. The mansion had become a battlefield of power and courage, with Ji-eun trying to maintain control and Zara steadily reshaping the rules. The staff watched in awe, inspired by the quiet revolution happening before their eyes. If you're cheering for the brave house help, comment "Fearless Maid" below, like this video, and subscribe to see what happens next. The night of the mansion's grand gala arrived, glittering chandeliers casting light over a room filled with influential guests. Ji-yoon moved through the crowd like a queen, commanding attention, every step deliberate, every smile sharp. But tonight, Zara knew the stakes were higher than ever. During the preparations, disaster struck. A waiter tripped, sending a tray of champagne bottles crashing to the floor. Gasps erupted. The staff froze, expecting Ji-yoon's fury to strike like lightning. Ji-yoon spun around, eyes ablaze. Who is responsible for this disgrace? Zara stepped forward without hesitation. It was an accident, ma'am. I'll help clean it and prevent further issues, she said calmly. Ji-yoon's voice was icy. You dare step in again? I'm not daring, Zara replied. I'm doing what's right. The guests watched in tense silence as Zara coordinated the cleanup flawlessly. Ji-yoon's fury threatened to erupt, but Zara remained steady, directing the staff efficiently and saving the evening from total chaos. Later, in the midst of the gala, Ji-yoon cornered Zara privately. Do you realize what you're doing? You could ruin everything, she hissed. I realize, Zara said evenly, but I can't stand by while people suffer from fear. Ji-yoon's eyes narrowed. You are bold, more than anyone I've ever met in this house. I'm just fair, Zara replied softly. Ji-yoon's lips pressed together, a storm of conflicting emotions passing across her face. The fiancée's power had always been unquestioned, but this girl, this simple, fearless girl, was proving that control built on fear could be challenged. The next morning, the aftermath of the gala was evident. Ji-yoon's usual iron grip had loosened slightly. The staff moved with renewed confidence, some daring to smile. Zara worked quietly among them, her calm presence a shield against intimidation. Ji-yoon, observing from a distance, felt something unfamiliar. Hesitation. She realized Zara had accomplished what none had before. She had changed the mansion without force, without confrontation, simply through courage, intelligence, and fairness. Later that day, a minor accident occurred in the kitchen. Normally, Ji-yoon would have erupted, humiliating the responsible staff. But Zara intervened swiftly, preventing the crisis. Ji-yoon watched, arms crossed, feeling a grudging respect she would never admit aloud. You've made a difference, Ji-yoon finally said, her voice low, almost reluctant. Do you understand what that means? I do, Zara replied. It means fear is not the only way to lead. A tense silence followed. Then Ji-yoon turned abruptly, walking away. For the first time, her steps were not sharp with command. They were deliberate, controlled, but not threatening. The staff, inspired, began to feel something they hadn't felt in years: safety. Smiles returned, conversations became lighter, and a sense of camaraderie grew. The mansion, once oppressive and silent under fear, was now cautiously hopeful. Days later, Zara quietly helped a staff member carry supplies. Another whispered, "She's incredible. She's changing everything." "She's not just a maid," said another. "She's a force." Zara blushed slightly, but shook her head. "I'm just doing what's right," she said. Even Ji-yoon, watching from her office, could not deny the shift. The house that once trembled under her wrath now held laughter, courage, and respect. The balance of power had changed, not with confrontation, but with the quiet, unwavering strength of a single individual. That evening, as the staff gathered in the dining hall, Zara placed the final tray on the table. Ji-yoon entered silently, observing. The air was calm, different from before. No one flinched. No one whispered in fear. Ji-yoon's eyes met Zara's. A subtle nod passed between them, a recognition of courage, intelligence, and integrity. No words were needed. The message was clear. The mansion had changed, and Zara had made the difference. As Zara walked back to the staff quarters, the camera lingers on her face. Calm, satisfied, but aware that the journey was far from over. The fiancé may still be formidable, but the tide had shifted. The mansion is no longer ruled by fear, thanks to one brave girl. If you want to see what happens when Ji-eun fights back, comment next battle below, like this video, and subscribe for part 2. The final shot lingers on Ji-eun, alone in her office, staring out the window. For the first time, doubt flickers across her features. The house help had made a difference, and she knew that controlling the mansion would never be the same again. The camera pans over the staff working together peacefully, laughter returning to the halls, the mansion alive with hope. A quiet smile crosses Zara's face. She had stood against fear, and in doing so, had rewritten the rules.